of light will finally be released. 1, 2. Rock and roll.
What's good, guys? This is Vahagraphy. I'm Vahagan, your rock and roll photographer. Thank you for joining me in this special video today. This video is special for two reasons. Number one, this is my official Vahagraphy review of the Nikon NIKKOR Z 50mm 1.2 S lens, this bad boy of a lens right here. Amazing lens, and I've been using this lens extensively for the better part of the year. I've used it a lot, and I'm happy to report my findings in this review for you guys. We're gonna do photography stills, we're gonna do video clips, and we're just gonna have a good time. Second reason why this video is special, this is my last video of the year, and why not go out 2022 with a bang, with a banger of a video. So an official review of this NIKKOR beast of a lens, 50mm 1.2 lens. Happy for you guys to join me. We're gonna have a lot of fun in this video. If this is your first time here on Vahagraphy, do me a favor, guys. This motivates me to make new videos, good things coming up in 2023. Do me a favor and go ahead. If you haven't subscribed yet to this channel, Vahagraphy, go ahead and do so. Subscribe to this channel, like this video, and hit that bell notification. You'll be notified when I upload new videos. Again, good things coming next year. This is my last video of the year, and we're gonna make it a special one. This lens deserves a special review, and it's gonna get one from Vahagraphy. So now, if you're not familiar with this lens, you're probably thinking why it's so big for a 50mm lens, right? Is that what you're thinking? The first time I saw this lens, that's what I thought. For a 50mm lens, it's quite big. Technical specifications we're going to go over in this video in a minute, and you'll realize why this lens is designed a little bigger than your traditional 50mm lenses. Number one, it's a 1.2 lens. The only autofocus 1.2 lens that's out for the Nikon Z lineup. The 85 1.2 is soon, I'm guessing, to come out in 2023, next year, but we don't have that lens yet. The only 1.2 lens that Nikon produces right now that autofocuses is this bad boy right here. Let me tell you something. This lens blew me away the first time I used the 50-1.2. It just was tremendous. But one thing that really stood out to me was just how sharp this 50mm is at 1.2. That's 1.2. You know, in the past, 50mm really weren't that sharp. You know, they were good lenses for the money, but some of the lenses were not that sharp, wide open at 1.4 or 1.8. This lens at 1.2 really just blows me away as far as the sharpness, where you're focusing, the background blur. It just disintegrates the background at 1.2. We're going to get into all that in this review. I got a lot to say and a lot to show you in this video, so stick around till the end, guys. You don't want to miss what I have to say. As far as the cosmetic features, there is two rings on this lens. This huge ring right here, which is the focus ring. You can use it for a focus ring, and the customizable ring right here in the bottom. You can customize this to a few features. Allows you to control the aperture, maybe the exposure compensation value, and a few other features that you can use with this lens ring in the bottom. So two rings. The lens has two buttons, a function control button and a display button. Now, Z premium lenses in this price range all have this OLED. Is it an OLED display? It's a little display on the lens that gives you some lens information. It's a great touch. Do you use it out in the field? It depends on what you're photographing. It comes in handy. I like the touch. Even if I don't use it, I just like it there. It's just a little cool feature. You can call it a gimmick, which a lot of photographers have called it, and I'm okay with that. But it looks good. It looks cool. You know, you turn on the camera and it says NIKKOR, you know? So a lot of premium lenses come with this little screen in the front. And also this lens has a switch, one switch, auto and manual focus right here. And that's about it. The focus ring feels really good and it feels smooth actually. This lens right now, as I'm making this review, costs $1,899 plus tax retail, and that's on sale. The regular price of the 50mm is $2,099 US. Now this 50mm 1.2 lens takes 82mm filters right in the front, which is cool because I also have a knocked 58 and that one also takes 82mm. And there's a lot of lenses in the Z lens lineup that do take 82mm filters right in front. So I don't have to go out and buy a lot of expensive filters. If you're doing video and you want to shoot at your desired shutter speed, especially when you're doing video, you're going to need some ND filters or maybe a variable ND. All right, guys, right now let's show you guys some detailed specs of the 50mm. Come back here and we'll rock and roll. As I show you the detailed specs of the 50mm, I just want to add, I buy this lens to shoot wide open at 1.2. Yes, you could stop it down. Sure, you can get better sharpness in your photographs. However, the majority of the time I'm shooting this lens, I'm shooting it wide open at 1.2. When photographing portraits, it's wise to stop it down just a little bit to maybe f2 or 2.8, just so you can get the eyes, both eyes sharp in focus. Naturally, your depth of field, your focus plane is so narrow when shooting at 1.2, but it's just a beautiful option to have. Shooting it wide open at 1.2 again is why I buy this lens. I've heard Nikon shooters say that the 50Z 1.8 lens is a good enough lens for them. They don't really need the 1.2 until you use this lens and see the magic it produces, which I'll show you a little bit later in this review. You will understand how special this lens really is and why it costs so much more money. Alright guys, so this lens comes with front and rear caps, of course, and it also comes with this massive hood, HB94. This is what the lens looks like with the hood attached on. Here it is. Yeah, what do you guys think? Got the nice NIKKOR S badge right on the side here. Hey, what does the S stand for? Super? Superior? So this lens is not a light lens. If you're used to like a kit lens, the 24 to 70s, you know, your 14 to 30s and all that, this lens is heavier than that. However, when you compare it to like a knocked and you put it side by side after holding that beast of a lens, you feel like this lens is, oh, that weighs nothing. But that's comparing it to like a 4-pound monster. It's not a light lens. That said, I think it's well balanced on the Nikon Z9. The Z6, you know, you're dealing with a smaller body with a huge lens like this. But again, this lens, there's a lot of technical reasons why this lens is big. Number one, focus breathing. You know, it's really non-existent in this lens. Nikon did a really good job designing the internals of the lens. Right now, let me show you the focus performance. I got my EVF recorder. Let's show you the EVF, how the focus performs out and about. Here I have the Nikon Z6 on AFS, and the camera and lens is doing a great job autofocusing in between subjects. As you see here, I'm pressing the shutter button halfway and it's focusing pretty quick. It's not the fastest lens, it's not going to break any records, but that's to be expected with the 1.2 lens. Here I'm going back and forth with the background and the tree, and that tree twig is very thin and narrow and it's capturing focus quick. There's my dad having a little bit of breakfast. Here's a natural light example indoors. What I noticed was when I was trying to focus on the instant coffee, it would back focus a little and then focus right on the coffee afterwards. Just thought I'd point that out to you guys. Without further ado, let's roll some sample photos and videos. Let's put it all together for you guys. I'll do the narration and I'll just show you what I'm showing you in this review. Hopefully this review is helpful. Hopefully you're enjoying the review. Remember, like and subscribe to Vahagraphy. Let me show you guys some photo and video samples right now. In these first examples, we are going to shoot some video at 1.2, focusing in right on that Christmas ornament. How do you like the Christmas tree? The first sample is shot at f1.2, and then f1.8, and then f2.8. So when I show you samples, you'll see the f number, the aperture setting on the screen. I am so tempted to shoot at f1.2 every single time I mount this lens and use it. This lens close focuses at 1.48 feet. Here's an example of that, focusing in right on that angel ornament at 1.2. Here's an example of background blur, 1228 and f4, photographing some stills. All fine and dandy, but let's go out and about and capture some sample images in the outdoors, the great outdoors. Beautiful backdrop here. So the first couple of examples I want to show you are the differences between the different aperture ranges. For example, shooting it wide open or 1.4, f2, same image, but I just adjusted the aperture value so you could see the difference there. The best way that I can describe the background blur and the bokeh of this lens, just looks so smooth. Look how smooth it is. The images this lens renders is spectacular. Looks like a painting back there. Here's a video example of my pops, my brother walking in the distance with that hammock. You want to see more of this hammock? Look at my 600 FL review. There's the man, my pops, the man who taught me so much in photography. I owe it all to him. So recording video, taking pictures with this lens, you can see that. Look at the background. It's just an awesome sight to see with this lens. f1.2 wide open and f16 closed all the way down. Another thing I noticed about this lens makes the subjects pop. It has that 3D rendering effect. This lens is perfect for the content creators who shoot natural light. Here's an example of shooting it indoors, natural light, wide open. So if you have a reality TV series, this lens is perfect. The Z50-1.2 really does not have any downsides. The only thing I could think of maybe is the size and weight. And yes, you could shoot portraits. There's my dad again. 1.2, 2.8. Let's just crop in here to see the detail at 1.2 and 2.8. Look how sharp. All right, guys. So on this next test, we're going to use both cameras here. 50-1.2 on the Z6 full frame camera and a kit lens at equivalent to 50 millimeters on a DX crop Z50. Yes, you read the screen correctly. For those of you wondering what a premium lens and a full frame camera versus Z50 and a kit lens looks like, here you go, recording the same footage side by side, one with the Z50 APS-C sensor at 4.5, that's the maximum aperture at that range, that focal range, and the Z6 full frame at 1.2. Spectacular footage. I really enjoy using this lens. Another downside maybe to this lens is the price, depending on how you look at it though. For those of you wondering what that drink is, it's called yerba mate. It's a Uruguayan drink from Uruguay. It's very popular among the locals. Take a look at how this lens isolates the subject. I'm focusing in right there. You know where I'm focusing in on. By the way, my mother's side of the family are Armenian from Uruguay. That's how come I know. So I grew up drinking mate, eating asado, chimichurri, you name it. We had it in the family. Now let's take some photography stills. How about some monochrome action? For these shots, I'm using a backlight to illuminate the background, and the foreground, I'm using the same Suit Photo light. Shot at f1.2 monochrome setting on a Nikon Z6. What do you guys think of these results? Here are the tube lights I'm using from Suit Photo for these shots. And of course, it wouldn't be a real Vahagraphy review without racking focus on this famous fence. Here we go at 1.2. Here's another example of how this lens obliterates the background at f1.2. Let's bring in the video clip at f16 as you see here. And here's another example of that. f16 And let's see how the subject is isolated here, wide open. As you see here on the screen, this lens is customizable. The function button can be set to different options and you can select it right in the menu system. You also have a customizable ring which you can set aperture, exposure compensation, and ISO sensitivity. Pretty cool. Here I'm playing with the ISO with the custom ring. One thing I notice when I'm photographing stills, when I have the custom ring set to aperture value, you can see the clicking when I'm adjusting aperture, but when I'm adjusting aperture on video mode, you do not see clicks. It's smooth, and this comes in handy. Here's an example of this. Look how smooth it is. This is perfect for filmmaking. Smooth controls where you can actually adjust while filming. All in all, this is an awesome lens. Highly recommend this 50mm Z lens. Over at the Nikon USA official website, just read the headlines. Dreams defined, all the details, all the sharpness, excellent in optics. I have to agree. Rock and roll. Welcome back, everybody. So what did you guys think of the photo samples and some video clip samples in this review? Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think, what you saw in this review, what you think of this lens. Also, I would like to hear from photographers out there that currently do own this lens and what you guys think. The first time I used this lens was a buddy of mine, Mike. He's a wedding photographer. We got together and we actually I put this lens head to head with the 50-1.8 lens. We did the 50-1.8, amazing lens by the way, and we used the 50-1.2 side by side. We're not gonna do any of that in this video because I've already covered that in this video above. Check the link and I'll put the link down below. And also, I get this question asked all the time. Is it worth buying a $2,100 50mm just to be shooting at 1.2? Why don't I just get the 50-1.8S instead for a lot less? We're talking 1/3 the price or more. Well, that's a question that you're going to have to answer for yourself. For me, if you asked me, is it worth the 1.2 versus the 1.8? Given that the 1.8S 50mm is such an awesome lens, I've done a review on that lens. Check it out. Again, up on top. I've shot with that lens. I've reviewed it. I've shot with that lens many times. Video, photo. It's small, light. It packs a punch. It's an amazing lens. I like to call the 50-1.8 lens the best bang prime for the buck. But your question is, should I buy the 1.2? It all depends. Like I said, for me, it's really worth having a 1.2 lens. It's a lot more light, you know, that you harness, that you gather when taking photography, you know, when taking video. It makes a big difference. Now, if you're not shooting at 1.2, that extra amount of light that you get at 1.2, and also that amazing look that this lens renders, the background blur, it just looks, the photos look like a painting. The bokeh looks great at 1.2, and it is a big difference from the 1.8. The 1.8 has its look, it's sharp. To me, this lens is worth the extra money. It's an investment. And if you like shooting at 1.2, you will love the 50-1.2. Who is this lens for though? Like, who would buy this lens? $2,100. Now, before I get into that, let me tell you one thing. I was expecting for Nikon to come out with an 85-1.2 as well. I think we're gonna see that in 2023. I think that lens is well overdue. Canon has a really nice 85-1.2 as well. 85-1.2, that's gonna be a super hit. The 50-1.2 is a great lens. I think for portraits, I think the 85 will really excel. And if it's as sharp as this lens is at 1.2, then we're gonna have ourselves another hit. Being a 50-1.2, I am very surprised at the performance of the lens. I'm very surprised at how it disintegrates the background. The bokeh looks beautiful. It is sharp. It takes some getting used to with the focus. If you're manually focusing this lens, you know, your depth of field is very narrow. So you have to be careful When you're manually focusing, maybe use peaking. But who is this lens for, guys? Pretty much everybody. If you're an event wedding photographer, you know, if you're shooting maybe landscapes as well, you saw the shots I took. This lens, super low light conditions, you know, pretty much everybody can use this lens. A street photographer, low light, nighttime, streetscapes, cityscapes. But pretty much I recommend this lens to all the Nikon Z shooters out there. You can do portraits with this lens, you can do environmental. All right, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this review, my official review of the 50mm Z lens, the last video of 2022. I want to wish everybody on Vahagraphy and out there a happy new year, and we'll see you guys next year. But thank you for watching my review of the Nikon NIKKOR Z 50mm 1.2 S lens. Remember, if you like this review and if you want more, it motivates me. Like and subscribe. And remember, guys, 2023 with your Nikon Z, it rhymes. Always remember to rock and roll. Thank you for watching. This is Vahagraphy. I'm Vahagan, your rock and roll photographer. We'll see you soon. Thank you for watching. Yeah. Hey, what's good, guys? Vahagan here from Vahagraphy. If you like more photography, rockin' content like this one, go ahead and check out the videos on the screen and subscribe to this channel for more exclusive content.